Okay, so everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shira David, Shavasa B'Tammuz. It's a hard day. It's a hard day in our history. We read in the Slichos before. Right? It's the day we had the golden calf, the day the Luchos were broken, the day that the carbon atomid was stopped, all carbon is stopped. But specifically, I make an emphasis on the carbon tumid. We had the carbon tumid in the morning, and we had the one in the afternoon, right? And the carbon tumid was something very special because it was a communal carbon, it was a communal sacrifice that was raised, when the people brought their shkolim over the year, right? And we have the Masechta Shkol, right? And every day they would bring that carbon, and that would bring forgiveness for the Jewish people for things that they did inadvertently during the nighttime, the one in the morning, and then the one in the afternoon brought forgiveness for the things that we did inadvertently during the day. And we lost it. But we still have the ability to say the karbanos, and that's our consolation, that we have that. We can still say the karbanos, and Chazal say, if you say the karbanos, it's kiluhu makrif. It's like you brought the sacrifice. So it's so important to say karbanos, so important. And I wish there would be more shuls here in the neighborhood that before mincha people would say karbanos. Talk about the carbon atomid shel bein ha'arbayim. That's what you talk about by the carbon musaf. I mean by mincha. That's what we do. And all right, but if you can say it anyway, that's a wonderful thing, right? To say in the morning. You say the karbanos, and then again by mincha time, before mincha, to say the karbanos. It's a very special thing. It doesn't take that long.
No, it's in the Breslov.
It's a few paragraphs. It's in any Sfarad Siddur. Any Sfarad Siddur, it talks about the karbanos. Anytime, any kind of Sfarad Siddur, you'll see. No, they don't know. That's not their. Whatever. I'm not saying there are people in Ashkenaz that also say karbanos. It's not. You wouldn't find it in the Siddur. It'll start with Ashrei. Where Sfarad Siddurim will start with Vayidar Hashem Moshe. Okay, that's pretty much how it is. Yeah, I mean, I know all the years in why I davened in New York. Mincha started Vayidar Hashem. It didn't start with Ashrei. That's how Mincha started in the shul. But okay, all right. What are we going to do? It is what it is. But we can still say the karbanos, and remember. When the Shalma Farim B'Sifra Sein, that's what the Chazal. When the Shalma Farim B'Sifra Sein, we can pay the bulls, we can pay back the sacrifices with our lips. Isn't that amazing? I think that's truly amazing that you can say the words and HaKadosh Baruch Hu considers as if you brought the sacrifice. It's fascinating. I'll tell you one thing, it's a lot cheaper. Right? It's a lot cheaper.
We should take advantage of it now.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. You can bring all these sacrifices. You just say the words. It's so special. Okay. Anyway.
But when the temple comes, we'll only have the Todah.
You what?
We'll only have the Korban Todah.
We'll have the carbon Todah,
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah. Well, when the temple comes, we won't also have the Yetzer Hara, so we won't be doing things inadvertently wrong. So we would need to, or whatever. We'll see. Let's. We'll just be giving thanks to Hashem. Tov lahodas l'Hashem. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's say we're learning in Likutey Halachos Hilchos Netilas Yadayim. We're learning the laws of washing our hands for a Suda. And Reb Nosson, always goes on his little tangents, and it's just wonderful how he brings everything in together, all halachas. He brings all Torah, and he connects it to all halachas. And we're learning about Pesach, because on Pesach we have the two rechitzos, right? We have urchatz and we have rochza, right? The two times we wash our hands. Oh, so we're washing your hands for bread. Oh, here's another time you wash your hands, and look how you can come to that rotzon again. So let's see what Reb Nosson has to say today. Nimsa, sha'ata belel Pesach, oisin shinoi b'chol advarim. When it comes to the Seder, the Leil HaKodesh, this Leil HaSeder, Leil HaKadosh that we have, right? Baruch Hashem. What? 27. There are many different changes. Right? We do many things differently. Right? We do many different things differently on the Seder. Well, first of all, you have the Ka'ara that you don't normally have, right? Most people have a minhag that they wear their kittel. You don't usually wear a kittel, right? What happened?
No, I just dropped the top. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. So there's many different changes. Shekoif l'maisam, and we double things. Kaif l'maisam. What do? We have 2 times we wash our hands. V'akol b'shvil aras harotza nimshach b'shas achila daika shu ikter atika. And all of this is to bring this idea of rotzen, to bring the idea of thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu, recognizing Hashem in everything, specifically when we eat. Specifically, isn't it interesting? We're learning this on a fast day, isn't that great? Great, right? See that? That's a tikkun right there, right? Okay, specifically when you eat, you can come to the idea of rotzen, right? You can come to that place of rotzen, to that place of recognition. We learned the other day the idea, why do we wash our hands? By the karpas. Remember we learned that, right? We said rochza, rechitza, is the same word as we use for bitachon. Remember? Right? So we want to get bitachon, and why karpas? Because we said karpas is a little vegetable, right? But karpas is also referred to in the Megillas Esther, as chur karpas utcheles, right? So you had the big day meshi, the what we said about the silk garments. That was the same idea referred to as the karpas. So you say the same Hashem that gave me this little vegetable is the same Hashem that can give me the finest garments. It's the same Hashem. It's the same Hashem based on my bitachon, right? So we get this. We can come to this rotzen when we wash when we're eating. We can come to a great level of rotzen. Bechinas v'atan neisin lahem es achlam beito. Right? Reb Nosson is bringing this pasuk so much. He wants to really drill this into our heads. You know, everyone when we say Ashrei, everyone's always Paisayach es yadecha must be. They put their hands out up, but no one's really focusing of Einei chalelechi is aberu. Einei chalelechi is very. All people are looking and hoping and davening, praying to Hashem. Ba'ata noisein lahem es achlam beito, and Hashem gives them their sustenance, gives them what they need in the proper time. Ito, beito.
It's like the youngest child who does not know to ask, in a sense.
Yeah. Shu bechinas ke'es yeyama liyakev liyisrael ma pol kel. So it says la'asid lavai, when Yisrael is going to come in the mechitzas up in Shemayim, will be in these courts up on high, that'll be much higher than even the Malachei Ashares. You hear this? We're going to come to a place that's even higher than the angels. That's not a new concept. We learned that concept because we learned when we daven and we come to the Olam Atzilus, right? The world of Atzilus, there's no angels there. That's only us and Hashem. The angels are down in the world of Bria, they're in the world of Yitzira. They're not up there. That's only Hashem and Klal Yisrael. That's us. Unbelievable. Shazei'ika tikva betachlis. That's the main tikva that we know. That while we're in this world, and we have the angels, and we have all the mazikim, like we learned about last week's parsha with Bilam, right? So the donkey was able to see there was a malach in the front. The donkey saw that, but Bilam couldn't see that, right? Chazal tell us, Gemara speaks about it a lot. There are different mazikim that are around us. There are different demons and angels are around us. We don't see them. We don't know, right? Someone sometimes is walking, they trip. They don't. Why did I trip? Oh, there was a demon there. He made you trip. If guy's walking on the street, nice, no problem. It's a nice life. Hey, he trips. Why? Oh, there's a demon. I didn't see the demon. That's nothing new, right? But the tikva is that we'll be higher than all of that. We're going to come higher than them, which means that they can't affect us. We'll be higher than them. And that's why we keep learning this idea of Ratzon. When we say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, right? And then we say Baruch Shem, that's 49. Right? We come to the place of Ratzon. Where we learned this idea, right? We come to the place of Ratzon, which is higher than the 23 courthouses. Remember we learned there's 23 courthouses. With all the judges, they're angry judges in the courthouses. And we have to get through those. But when you say, we get to the Ratzon, you go right past all the courthouses.
And we say Shema to go right.
You could just you can bypass. And no, we're saying so now when we eat, we can do that also. When you wash your hands and you're eating, you can do that. When it comes to all the days of the year, so when it's during the year, we just had the Shabbos, right? Hashem will have another Shabbos of Aleinu L'Tova. Okay? So we have the Shabbos, you come down, you come to the table, you pick up the cup of wine, and you say, Yoim Hashishi, right?
Hashishi.
Yoim Hashish. We learned about Hashi, right? That was the sixth day. That was Sivan, right? The sixth of Sivan. Remember, we learned that, right? That was Kabbalah Satorah. Hashishi. Very good. Very good. No, very good. No, very good. You remembered that. Very good. Okay. So you can come to the Ratzon with that cup. Isn't that amazing? You come to this recognition. Hey, Hashem, you are everything. You made the world. You made everything in the world. It's all you, Hashem. And you rested on the seventh day, and you want me to rest on it. So we're giving testimony, right? We're giving testimony. We're giving testimony that Kadosh Baruch Hu created the world in 6 days, and on the seventh day He rested, and I agree to that. I'm testifying that. Shabbos, because the main thing is Shabbos. That's a taste of Olam Haba. Chazal teach us, and all the Sfarim talk about it. The way a Jew conducts himself on Shabbos, the way you feel on Shabbos, is an indication of how you're doing spiritually. If you feel elevated on Shabbos, if you feel connected on Shabbos, if you feel so connected to Hashem, so you know that you're doing pretty good. You know that's a good indicator. It's a good indicator. It's a good litmus test to know where you're holding in your avodas Hashem. Because Shabbos is a ein olam haba. It's a taste of olam haba. That's why you can taste what it's going to be like in olam haba. But then you have those people when Shabbos comes, and all they do is they sleep. They sleep the whole day. You have a lot of people like that, right? People, they're so tired, they have to sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep. What are they going to do in the next world?
Sleep.
Ay, nebuch. Sha'oz ika bechina sa'es asher yeyomer ma pol. Right? This idea of ma. This idea of ma, like Chochmas ma, Moshe Rabbeinu says, V'anachnu ma, right? What am I already? Right? This idea of ma. Shu bechinas ha'aretz ha'rotzon shemisham mekablim kol sheishis yimei hachol. This idea we accept. We accept. We accept all the 6 days of the week. Liskais tamid b'shas ha'achila ha'aretz ha'rotzon. To come to this rotzon. Again, it's fascinating that we can come to a level like coming from Kriya Shema. Kriya Shema. Mi mekabel ol malchus shemayim. Being mekabel ol malchus shemayim. You're accepting the yoke of heaven with Kriya Shema. Right? You're accepting upon yourself the Arba Misas Bezdin. You're accepting upon yourself recognition that Hashem is in this world and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in the 7 firmaments above. All these things that you accomplish during Kriya. Now I'm eating. I can accomplish the same thing. It's fascinating. It's fascinating that we can come to the same level during eating. Now it's very easy to understand. We're going to learn more about that because when I'm eating, I'm making the rectification for what Adam and Chava did wrong. The first sin was eating. The first sin was regarding eating. It was food. They ate whatever that tree was. It is a big discussion. What was the tree? Right? Was it an esrog? Was it a grape? Was it wheat? Who knows? We don't know. It doesn't matter. Whatever the tree was, they ate from it and they weren't supposed to eat from it. Right? Whatever they ate, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There were people are getting all bent to shape. Oh, well, what was the fruit? Who cares?
Yeah.
It was Hashem said, "Don't eat whatever that was."
So, in response to something you just said, also, because of what you talked about, Ashrei, when we look at Hashem,
He looks back at us. Yeah, right. Einich le'elecha is a beta.
And so now, because of washing the hands, I keep a book, some book next to me.
Yeah.
And I read while I'm eating.
Good.
And while I'm having bread. But the thing you just said was that.
Well, but you do that, Mordechai. Let me just hold there 1 second, because we also learned that at your table, you don't want to be eating from the sacrifices of dead corpses.
Right.
Right? You want to be eating together. You want it to be like a mizbeach. Right? You want to have like the sacrifices. Right? You want to eat from a sacrifice. So that's why you learn Torah at the table. That's why you learn Torah. But go ahead. You continue.
Well,
Okay.
the other thing was that I used to nap every Shabbat, and now I'm learning Torah, like I'm reading in my Memloez or something
Whatever
like that.
you're reading, Torah.
And because I'm doing that, I'm not getting tired.
See that?
And it's just...
It's amazing, right?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm learning, and I'm not tired. I don't have to nap.
You don't have to nap, right?
No,
because you're interested. You're in the neshama. You're engaging in the neshama. Right? You're engaging this. It's wonderful. That's how it works. You see, everyone, this is the way the program works. The more you put in, we're going to learn about that. V'akol kefi ma shezocha b'avaydosei b'sheshis yimei ha'maisa sheyesh bahem olam hazeh. The way you prepare yourself, shezocha b'avaydosei b'sheshis yimei ha'maisa, the things that you do during the 6 days of the week, right? The things that you do. All your service of Hashem, whatever you're doing, when you're learning, you're davening, His bodedut, you're talking to Hashem, you're doing chasadim, right? You're doing kind acts. Whatever the person is giving tzedakah, whatever he's doing, all these things are part of the service of Hashem. Because I'm always trying to connect this world, things in this world, with the next world. So in this world, you do mitzvahs with physical things, right? Right? In this world, you do mitzvahs with physical things. You need physical things. You need to put on the tefillin. It's not good enough we learn to just learn about the tefillin, right? You could learn about them and speak about them, but unless you put on the tefillin, you didn't wear tefillin. You could learn all you want about tzitzis and talis. If you don't put it on, you didn't get the mitzvah, right? You could learn all about the Sudas of Shabbos. Right? And it's so important. But if you don't eat the Suda on Shabbos, it's physical. Because I'm trying to bring this world to connect it to the next world. Right? But I need the physicality of this world to bring me up to the next world. To Darei Mata, Darei Mala. That's the main point of our avodah, to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu k'moi zeicha b'Shabbos b'chinasai ayedei HaKiddush ala kois haras harotzah b'chinas mi shetarach b'erev Shabbos yoichel b'Shabbos. Oh, that's so beautiful, right? He who prepares and works erev Shabbos has what to eat on the Shabbos, right? We understand that, right? Right? If you went and you bought all your raw ingredients to make the cholent, right? And you have the crock pot ready, and you have electricity, you have everything, but you didn't put it in the pot beforehand, and you didn't cook it beforehand, you're not going to have what to eat on Shabbos, right? Or whatever it is. You bought a roast, you bought fish, whatever you did, whatever it is. If you didn't prepare it, you're not going to have it. Misha Tarach Be'erev Shabbos Yoichel b'Shabbos, and that's how it works when we do our preparation in this world. When we work in this world serving Hashem, then we'll have what we need in the next world. You hear that? You see that? When we prepare mitzvahs in this world, the more mitzvahs, the more Torah, the more Tehillim, the more Isbodedus, the more we do, we're preparing for what we need for our trip in the next world. Right? We always say, like, this world is like preparing for the trip, right? Whenever you're going to prepare a trip, we discussed that, right? You take your suitcase and you think about all the things you're going to need on your trip. If you're going to a warm place, so you pack things that you'll need in a warm climate. If you're going on a vacation, you're going on a trip to a cold place, so you're going to pack all the things that you need for a cold climate, correct? Right? You have to prepare. Now, if you prepared the wrong thing, right, you're going to a cold climate, but you brought your swim trunks and you brought your t-shirt, it's not going to be too good, right? Right? Or if you go to a warm climate, then you brought your sweater. It's also not going to be too good. You have to prepare what you need for your trip. So that's why in this world, you can't be involved in too much physicality for the sake of physicality, because then you're going to come to the next world. What are you going to have? You'll have the wrong things. It's like you went on the trip and you packed the wrong thing. It's not going to do any good. Rabbi Nachman speaks about that the neshama gets to the next world, right? He speaks in Sichas Haran. The neshama gets to the next world, and he's telling the malach, "I'm hungry." So the malach tells him, down in your cupboard, you left it's loaded, and in the refrigerator, you got all the food in the freezer. Go eat. No, I don't want that. No, I don't want that. But he just did want it, but now he doesn't want it. He said, "I'm very cold. I'm very cold. I need a garment." So the malach tells him, "What do you mean you're cold? Look at all your beautiful cashmere sweaters you left in your closet, right? You got all the beautiful sweaters. You bought a fancy coat. Go wear it." "I don't want that." Rabbi Nachman says, what you should do is you do a lot of mitzvahs and drink down a lot of tehillim. Drink a lot of tehillim. You drink the tehillim, say a lot of tehillim, and do a lot of mitzvahs, so you'll have garments and you'll have food that you need in the next world. Like the mun. We said the mun was we were learning about matzah, right? So the matzah was like the mun. The mun was known as the lechem abirim. It's angelic food, right? It's angelic food. It's not physical food. That's why when we ate the mun, we didn't have to go to the restroom. There was no waste. There was no waste.
You also taught us that if we're hungry, that's a sign that our soul wants us to learn more Torah.
The Baal Shem Tov teaches that. Yeah, the Baal Shem Tov says.
So I on doing it. If you want to go on a diet, keep a sefer near you.
Learn Torah. Learn Torah. Yes. Yeah. That's a good way to die.
Never tell you that.
No, they won't make any money on that, right? Yeah, the diet business is a great business, right? They make billions of dollars every year in the diet business, right? This guy comes up with a diet plan. He has no idea what he's talking about. He writes all this stuff, writes. And then people buy his book. Unbelievable. Therefore, when it comes to Pesach, and we come to the first night, special night, right? Special night. You're prepared 30 days before. You're cleaning everything, and you're preparing and getting rid of the chametz, and you're taking out all of the chimetz amayach, and you're cleaning everything up, and now you finally get to the Seder. It's such a special thing, right? You work so hard. You have to get the food and this, and change the dishes and this, and cover the counters and kasha the sink, and all the stuff that you do. All of that stuff. So much work, right? Then you finally get to the Seder. Oh. It's a special thing, right? It's special. Then Erev Pesach, the food in the house, the way it's cooking, the soup and all the things, has such a nice aroma, right? The house has such a beautiful aroma. Rabbi Weinberger speaks a lot about that the kids today lose that. He remembered growing up in his house where his mother, she should be well, and she prepared a beautiful Seder, and Erev Shabbos, the house had such a beautiful aroma. You remember those things, You remember those things. You remember the aroma. You remember those things. It's amazing. I remember years and years ago, we went on a trip. We were somewhere in France. We took the kids, and there was a museum. And it was fascinating. This museum had nothing in it. It was just different rooms with different aromas. It was fascinating. It was really fascinating. You went into a room, and it had a certain aroma. And then you had to imagine what that was.
Wow.
So it's beautiful. No, because the aroma brings on so much memory, brings in so much memory when you smell something. Right? Because we said why? Because all of the scents, right? We have 5 senses, right? So all of the 4 senses were involved in the hate of Adam Rishon and Tovara. Right? They saw, they looked, and they touched, and they this, but they didn't. Doesn't say that they smelled the fruit. Whatever that thing was, they didn't smell it. So the sense of smell was never lost. It was never defiled. The sense of smell was not defiled. All the other senses had something to do, and they were defiled. But the sense of smell was never defiled because it was not involved in that original hate. Is that fascinating? Because it wasn't involved. So therefore, the scent is such an important thing. The scent is such an important thing. And the rabbi, my Rebbe, Rabbi Weinberger, says that it's so important. And people go away today to hotels, and they go away to these Pesach programs, and the kids don't get that. They don't have that scent. They don't have that memory of the scent in the house. It doesn't have that specialness to it. That's something so special that they were able to remember. That's why I told you about the museum, because people, there's a thing even in the secular world. They understand that the sense of scent is something special, right?
I even learned it's also a way to change your mind when you have this Yetzer Hara poking at it.
Yeah.
Because you smell something or reminds you of something, then that's changing.
And it changes your mind, right? It just, right, we said that, right.
Yeah.
It's like doing something silly, right? If they have the
Like
Yetzer Hara body,
silly.
you do something silly, right? Well, we learned that, right?
Snapping the wrist.
Snap the wrist, whatever you do,
Whatever it
right,
is.
exactly. Okay.
Okay,
So Belel Harishayna, She'ein Lanu Shum Avoida, Rak Bechazdei. We have nothing, we don't have anything. It's before we even had Shabbos, right? When the first night is Seder, what it says, She'ein Lanu Shum Avoida. We don't have any Isarusa de la Sata. We don't have anything that we did during the week, right? Like, for example, when it comes to Shabbos, you're preparing for Shabbos, and then you had Torah and Avodah and this and this. But when it comes to Pesach, it's before Matan Torah, right? So we're coming to the Seder, we're coming empty. It's all Hashem giving us everything. It's that Sarusa de Le'ela. That's why they tell us it's so important by Pesach. You have to feel that you're going out of Mitzrayim. Why? Because this is the situation you find yourself in. We find ourselves in a situation before Matan Torah, and Hashem is taking us out, and it's all from Hashem. It has nothing to do with me. It's all the chesed of Hashem. Therefore, by the Seder, we make Kiddush, right? We start off with Kadesh, right?
Okay.
No, Kadesh. We start with Kadesh. So we make Kiddush. So normally on Friday night, on a regular Friday night, on a regular Shabbos, you make the Kiddush and it brings you to that place of Ratzah with that one cup. But Pesach, it doesn't bring you there. Because you're not there yet. Because you don't have the preparation. You don't have what you need. Because it's before you even got the Torah yet. You see how real it is? In other words, they tell you you're supposed to feel that you came out of Mitzrayim, as if you're going out of it. But it's in the Seder itself that makes you understand that it's really that way. It's not that I'm feeling, this is the situation. The first cup doesn't bring me to the Ratzon. It doesn't bring me to that place like it normally works on Friday night. Rak al yedei shemesadrin hagoda al koi sheni. Oh, but when they do the Seder of the Hagodah, and we talk about that the children asked the 4 questions, and then we talk about that we were slaves to Paro and Mitzrayim, and Hashem came and took us out. Via doing that, now we did something, right? Now we're talking about Torah, we're doing something. We accomplished something ourselves. That's the Sarusa de la Sata that we did down here. We're speaking about it. That's why the rabbis tell us it's so important you speak more on Pesach. Speak about the Yetzias Mitzrayim. Because you need to do something. That way you have something. Hagodah shel koi sheni u'mesaprin all of toikif hanisim she'asa imanu b'chem losei agda, because Hashem had so much compassion for us. He had so much mercy on us. And we talked about Hashem's mercy and compassion that He had for us, and He saved us from that hell of Mitzrayim. Shemeir Einenu Ayadei Moshe Rabbeinu, that it was illuminated to us through Moshe. Right? We only knew about Hashem through Moshe, right? What did we know about Hashem? What did we know about Hashem? We only knew about Hashem through Moshe. Hashem didn't come to the Jewish people. He spoke to Moshe. Moshe told us through the tzaddikim. You ever think of that?
No, because I think we have Abraham before that.
Hashem spoke to Abraham. Okay, fine. And Hashem spoke to Yitzchak, and He spoke to Yaakov. Fine. But we don't see Hashem spoke to the other Shvatim. Yosef He did. Okay. But where else do you see that He spoke to the other Shvatim? Hashem didn't come to the Shvatim and say, hey, you guys, you're making this deliberation here against Yosef. You guys are making a mistake. He didn't do that. He didn't do that. We only know about Hashem, and we know about the things that He's going to do through Moshe. Is that amazing, right? You always need the tzaddikim. You need the tzaddikim to tell us what's going on. Otherwise, we don't know. Shemeinu einenu ayadei Moshe Rabbeinu v'hoidi anu amitus elekusoi memamshaltei hagedolim. He taught us the truth of Elikus, of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and now He has control. He has control over everything, and He demonstrated it to us, right? With the 10 plagues, Hashem demonstrated it unquestionable that He has control of every realm of everything of creation. Ki mitchilas avoidei zara hayu aveiseinu v'achshav kervanu hamakim la'avoidasai. Before we were serving idols, right, in Mitzrayim, right? We were like them. The Malachim said, why are you saving them, Hashem? They're serving idols, and they're serving idols. V'chol zehu b'chinas aras ha'atzilos shu taklis ha'olam ha'elyon. And all of this is the idea of the Nisim comes from the world of Atzilos, that highest world, where Hashem says He's going to keep controls everything. That's the control room. Hashem controls everything in that world. He controls everything. Ba'asiyah shehu taklis olam atachtain. Hashem is running up in the highest world, and He's running everything down here, right? He's running everything down here. He's up there, looking down in this world, controlling every little aspect of this world. Every leaf, every bug, every person, of course, every fish. Unbelievable. The idea of the ben chacham, the ben rasha, right? As it's talked about in the kavanas of the Pri Eitz Chaim, the whole idea that we have the arba banim at the seder, right? We have the 4 different children, right? Shos daika onu zeichen lechlolei seilamois was daika yoichlin leechol achakach hamatzah. And then after we're able to yechaylin leechol achakach ma'amatzah, we're able to eat afterwards the matzah, right? After we speak about it, we do something, we're zocha to eat the matzah. And the matzah, we said, is what? That's the lechem that brings us to the ratzon, right? Why? Because any kind of bread you eat during the year, what makes it bread? It has to have flour and water. It has to have an aspect of matzah in it. It must have an aspect of matzah in there. So you take flour, mix it with water, even though you can add more ingredients. You'll put yeast and eggs and sugar, whatever you're going to put in there. Whatever your recipe calls for the bread, whatever you're going to put in there, that's fine. But it starts out, it has to be flour and water. That's bread. And when we come down here, we come to the idea of the Ratzah and Ha'elyon, the upper knowledge, the upper will that Hashem wants us to eat the matzah, right? Because we said that we have to get rid of the chametz of the mayach, right? That chimutz hamayach. We have the chametz in the mind, And that's why we say it's so important that you don't eat any chametz when it comes to Pesach. Why? Because it's like a person was very, very sick. Right? When a person's very, very sick, so then they have to be very, very careful what they eat on their diet, and they have to take their medicine very regularly, right? Right on time. And if they don't want to be introduced to any infection, right? If a person's very, very sick, you have to keep them away, they have to isolate them. Right, they put them in isolation. Right, if the person if they're very, very sick, they have to go in because they don't want to be introduced to any kind of bacteria, any kind of germs. That's why they put them. That's the way it is on Pesach. We're so vulnerable. So Hashem says, don't touch, don't look at matzah, don't look at chametz, don't bal yirah, bal yimotzeh, don't look at it, don't see it, have nothing to do with it. Because then we have to speak a lot about the miracles and the nisim of Yetzias Mitzrayim. To bring Aras HaRatzon. I'd like to say over here now, today I believe it's very important to us today to speak about the miracles, how Hashem is constantly saving us, and all the miracles that happened over the past few weeks. All the miracles. Look at all the miracles that we were saved over the past few weeks. Over the past few weeks. Unbelievable. My wife sent me this article last night. I was reading. I couldn't believe this. She sends me these things, and then if I don't read them, then she gets upset. So I was reading this article. She said there was one plane. This article said there was one plane an F-15, one of our fighter planes that was in Tehran. Right, that was in Tehran, deep in Tehran, and his secondary fuel tank wasn't working. He was losing. He was going to go down because he didn't have his fuel. So they made a quick calculation. Listen to this. They made a quick calculation that they send a fuel tanker. You know, the ones up in the air. It wasn't far. They got it over to him, and they refueled his other tank in air. Yeah. In the air, unbelievable. Otherwise, you would have to land down there. Chas v'sholem. He was going to have to land the plane in Iran, in Tehran. That would not have been too good for him, or what they would have found on our planes, or who knows what. But they came up with these things. This is all the miracles of Hashem. Yeah. That plane was in the right place at the right time, and they had that right idea. And this way they said that he was able to do his mission, but he wasn't able to get back, so they figured out that he'll land in another country. They worked it out that he could land in another. He shouldn't have to land. Maybe he landed in Jordan or wherever. I don't know where he landed. He landed somewhere else that was safe to land. And they fixed the plane and everything. But look at the miracles, how Hashem was taking care of us. We don't realize. It's coming out now, all these miracles of all these missions. It's not even understandable. They send 50 planes at a time. They send 50 planes. Could you imagine what that is? 50 planes?
And refilling planes.
And refueling them and this and the whole thing and knowing what their targets are, where they're going to go. Wow. Wow. It's all Hashem. We have to speak about it. Speak about these miracles that Hashem saved us.
Even in this last Parsha.
How he saved us with Bilam. The biggest monster.
The thing that I learned from this is that the only way anyone can hurt us is if we don't have unity.
We don't have unity, and we don't have trust in Hashem.
Trust in Hashem,
right? Which is one and the same. If you have trust in Hashem, you have unity, right? Kidei lahamshich haras haratzim machmas shadayin ve'ein lanu shum uvdos umasim toivim when it comes to Pesach. But now we have that. And when it comes to Pesach, we have nothing else, right? But now, thank you, Hashem, we have plenty of mitzvahs. We have a lot of different things. We have the Torah, the 613 mitzvahs and all of the Rabbanim, right? All the Avos and the Toldos and all the things that we have. We have plenty of things to learn, no problem. But now, it's so important to speak about the miracles of Hashem now. Al yedei adiba shemar bin l'sape b'tzias Mitzrayim shezeh bechinas Pesach. Pesach. The mouth is open, speaking. The mouth. Sach, speaking. Pesach. The mouth. Pesach. The mouth is speaking about the miracles of Hashem. Let us do that today too. Pesach. Let us do that now and speak about the miracles of Hashem. Bechinas kol amar ben l'saper. Everybody has to work and always praising Hashem. This is our job. This is our thing to do. And this is the way we can protect ourselves the greatest, if we protect ourselves by praising Hashem and recognizing it's Hashem that's protecting us. Yes, I'm not taking away anything from the soldiers, and they're all beautiful people, and they're doing great things. But let us remember, it's Hashem that's giving them the wherewithal, which is protecting us. It's not them. They are the shaluchim of Hashem. Okay, but remember, it's Hashem. The same way when I eat my karpas, and I have to remember, Hashem, it's you gave me this little vegetable. Wow, Hashem, you gave this to me. You're the same Hashem can take care of anything. Praise Hashem. That's what it's all about. V'chein harachitzos. And the two times that we wash, when it comes to urchatz and rochsa, 2 times we wash at the Seder. We wash our hands twice. Urchatz we wash for the karpas, and rochsa we wash for the matzah. Right? Sheheim v'chinas bitchonos. This is the idea shekoiflet. This is the idea that the bitachon is doubled. Double up on your bitachon. Double up on your bitachon. Double up on your trust in Hashem. B'chein b'vitzias koiflin. And also another thing we change on the night is say that 2 times we break the bread. Right? 2 times we break the matzah. Right? We break the matzah by yachatz. Right? We break the middle matzah. Right? The bigger part we put away for the afikomen, and the other part stays in the center. Right? But then we break the matzah again. By mitzi matzah. Right? Mitzi matzah, we break the matzah again. 2 betziyas. You don't normally do that on a regular Shabbos, right? On a regular thing, you break the bread 1 time. You don't do it twice. So many different things, because again, we're trying to infuse the idea. We said when you look at the bread, right, and you baitzea the bread, you're supposed to break the bread where it was a little bit more well done, right? Why? Because that's the fire. Why is the fire so important? The fire brings me to yiras Hashem, fear of God. Fear of God brings me to bitachon in Hashem. If I fear Hashem, I have bitachon Hashem. All of this is all to bring up and increase our bitachon. Fascinating. Shu bechinas yachatz v'achar kach pam hasheni b'shas hamoitzi ki harachitzos v'abetziyos hakol b'shvil aretz haratzon. And the whole thing is to get me more connected to the Ratzon Hashem, to connect me more to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'ata tzrichin kol zeh shtei pamim obein shtei kaisos. And I need to do this 2 times between the 2 cups, specifically between those 2 first cups. I do all these things between the 2 first cups. Shtei abetzias v'shtei harachitzos v'oimrim ha'agoda uma'archin l'sape b'yetzias Mitzrayim. And we in Lenten, speaking about Mitzrayim, because at that point I can't get this aras haratzon while I'm eating. Seder zeh. I need that seder. I need the seder. I need seder. We need seder in our lives, right? Right? We learned the idea of seder shalaika seder, right? We want things to be beseder in our lives. Yes, so and how you doing? You say beseder, right? Beseder. We want seder in our life. We want order. Order. Things should go in order. B'mitz Hashem. Machmashu ba'aschola, because we're in the beginning, we're starting out. B'bechinas sarusa d'leila. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us the sarusa d'leila. So it's a fascinating. I believe this is a fascinating lesson. It's just so special to understand how washing our hands is so important. When we wash our hands, the word that we use for washing hands is rechitza. Rechitza is the same word as betachon. Every time you wash your hands, you're going to eat bread, and you're going to have a suda. You remember, I'm washing my hands, rechitza. This is rechitza. I'm washing my hand. Oh, rechitza is betochen. I have to infuse my betochen, my trust in Hashem. This is what it's all about. Rav Nosson is trying to infuse this into us to understand that on a regular daily basis, we have to come to that ratzon. How do you do that? Through betochen. Okay, so that's our lesson for today. Now we're going to learn Kitzur Shulchan Aruch for a few minutes, and we're going to finish off today. We're finishing off today, Baruch Hashem, the dinim of the Shliach Tzibor, the din of the Shliach. But Baruch Hashem, our Shliach Tzibor today remembered to say our name. See that? No one had to tell him anything. He remembered Baruch Hashem. See that? It was beautiful, right? I mean, we learned about these things, right? What would happen if he forgot? What does he do? So he puts it in by Shema Keleinu. We say, right? But he didn't, Baruch Hashem, he didn't forget. Baruch Hashem. Anyway, all right. So today we're up to Yud Beis, I believe. Is that right, Shalom? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, Yud Beis, and then tomorrow we're going to start a new chapter. Here we go. Yochid ha'omed b'tfilah shmoin esrei kishu mesayim mechayim esim. Right? Oyimim hatzibar kedushas uvolat zion. Right? Oy kedushas yoitzer. So the guy is saying Shmoin Esrei. Maybe he's in a place. I was thinking that there's like a different minyanim, right? There's one of these minyan factories, right? And he's in a place, could be, right? He's in a place. He said Mechayim Esim. Oimim Atziba b'kedushais uvolatzion oy kedushas yoitzer, right? And they're saying the Kadosh in the Birchas Kriya Shema or Volatzion, you say the Kadosh. Einay oime imahem Kadosh. He can't say with them Kadosh. You hear this? He's in his own Shmon Esrei by Mechayim Esim. Right? He's in his own Shmon Esrei by Mechayim Esim. You hear this? Right? You normally by Mechayim Esim you say Kedusha, right? Mechayim Esim the Kedusha. But now, if you're in Miller Shmon and you're Shmon Esrei and they're saying Kedusha from Ashrei or Volatzion, or they're saying it from the Birchas Kriya Shema, that has nothing to do with your Shmon Esrei. Lefi she'ena Kedusha Shabbos, those are not equal. You hear this? You're on a higher level. You're in the world of Atzilut, right? We said when you're saying Shmon Esrei, you're up there. In Birchas Kriya Shema, you're only in the world of Bria. They're not equal. That Kadosh. It's not equal. And then when you buy Ashrei and Volatzion, again you went down. You're not in the same. It's not equal. You understand? They're not equal. So you can't say along with them the Kadosh. Aval im atziba oimim kedushas musaf. Look at this. But if the tzibur is saying Musaf, you're in Chakra still, right? And they're saying the Kedusha from Musaf. Let's say they're saying the Keser or the Agdisha, whatever the Ashkenaz or Shvar, it doesn't matter. They're saying the Kedusha from Musaf, even though I'm saying Chakra. So I think, how can I say the Kedusha from Musaf? It doesn't matter. That's on a higher level. Oine Imam Kaddish, you can answer with them Kaddish because that's on a higher level than even you're at. That's in the place of Ratzon. That's in the place of Keter. That's in the higher place. That's even in a higher place than you are now. You transcend that place. You understand? So therefore you can. Other times you lower. You can't go. It has nothing to do with where you are. Oh, but if you're saying Shachris, he said Mechayim Esim, and they're saying the thing, you can answer with them. That's a Chiddush.
Even if in the Amida?
Yeah, in the Amida. That's the Chiddush.
Wow.
V'chein behipa Kedushas Shachris and Kedushas Musaf Shavin Heim. And the same way, the other way it works also, v'chein behipa Kedushas Shachris, if you're saying Kedusha of Shachris or Kedushas Musaf Shavin Heim. So if you're saying so here we go. So if you're saying the Kedusha is higher, so if you're in the Chaim, then the Tzibur is coming up to, and that's why, hold on a second, that's another thing you can understand. Wait a second. If you want to start Shmon Esrei, let's say you came in late, right? You came in a little bit late, they started Shmon Esrei. So you're allowed to start your Shmon Esrei, let me just explain this, with the Shliach Tzibur and say along with him. You could say along with the Shliach Tzibur, and then when it comes to Kedusha, you could say the Kedusha, right? Right? You know that, right? Did you know that, David? Did you know that?
Is
Yeah,
that
you
like
can.
when people start late, they start with the het, with the het.
No, that's a
That's
chatzika. That's something else. That was late yesterday. There was the other we learned. That's the chatzika. No, that's they did the hechesh shmoin esrei. They can you can say if there's 6 people, at least 6 people there together, they need a dialogue. So then you're allowed to say the what do you call it? You can start shmon esrei loud, the kedusha, and then you say the rest quietly. That we learned on Erev Shabbos. Right, we learned that on Erev Shabbos, but this is a different one. If you started later with the Shliyat Tzibur, right, or you're in your own private one, and then they're saying this and that, then you're allowed to continue with them. Okay, but Kedusha Shachris, most of Shabbos say because those are equal, right? When it comes to Kedusha is always equal. If they're saying the Kedusha of Shmona Esrei, that's the Kiddush. The Kaddish in Birchas Kriya Shema is not the same level because that's in the world of Bria. When it comes to the Kaddish in Avolat Zion, you're also on a lower level, right? We said over there, then you're also in the world of Bria. Right, then you're going down to the world of Yetzirah, and then when you come to the Karbonis, when you come to the Pita Makadosh, you come back to the world of Asiya. So those are not on the same level. You're not on the same level of the Atzilut, right? It's amazing how we're learning this in Likutey Halachos. We could be learning about the 2 worlds, Asiya and Atzilut, and here we come to the same idea. You're not in the world of Atzilut because you're not in the world of Atzilut, therefore you can't say the Kedusha with them. They're lower than you. But if they're saying kedusha and you're in the Shmona Esrei, and from the kedusha from the Shmona Esrei, that's okay. Now you're on it. You're fine. Or they're saying the Musaf, or they're saying the chakras, it works fine. Okay. Now tomorrow, with Hashem's help, of course, we're going to learn the laws of tashlumin. If a person forgot to say a tefillah, right? You forgot to say a tefillah, right? Inadvertently. Right, you forgot to say a tefillah, or something came up, you were in ones, you couldn't daven, whatever the case was, right? The person was somewhere he couldn't daven because whatever it was, and he didn't plan. Now, you can never make up a tefillah if you purposely didn't daven. Right? Listen, I got a business deal now. I must do my business deal, and I'll daven after. And if you miss the zman, over zman, batul karbonis. Take care, Shalom. Oivizman batul karbonis. You heard that expression? We're going to learn that in this week's parsha. If the zman is over, you can't bring the carbon. Right? There's a certain time that you can bring the sacrifice. If that time passes, you can't do it anymore. Right? So we're going to learn the ideas when what happens if you forgot to daven, or you were in a circumstance that you couldn't daven for whatever reason. Right, the person was in the bathroom, he's having stomach trouble. Right, could happen. Right, it's 20 minutes before the zman. He figured he's going to be able to, and the next thing you know, he's in the bathroom and he can't get out of bed. It's not his fault. What's he supposed to do? So that wouldn't be a problem. That's a perfect example where you couldn't daven. I'm giving you a perfect example. The guy's in the toilet. What's he supposed to do? What's he supposed to do? He wants to go. He can't. You're not allowed to. We learned you can't stop. If you feel like you have to go, you're not allowed to daven. Right. So he didn't do anything wrong, the guy. Right? He didn't do anything wrong. Then we're going to learn how do you make up that tefillah? When do you make it up? And so on. That's what we're going to learn in Mitzvah Hashem. Those are the next laws. There are 10 different laws to learn about that. And then we're going to learn the laws of Tachlan after that. Okay? All right, so everyone we should have a meaningful fast today. Not just an easy fast, but it should be meaningful, and try to say Tehillim today. Try to speak to Hashem in his bodedus, and ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu to please forgive us for the hate of the Egel, it was only because of those Erev Rav that we even did that in the first place. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, was a mistake. We didn't really want to do this. And all the things that happened, we didn't want to do it. Please, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, forgive us for your sake, Hashem. That's the best way to daven. For Hashem's sake. For Hashem's sake. Leman Shemecha.
It seems like I read in Memlawez that it was the Erev Rav that committed most of the...
Yes, I know, but we didn't do anything about it.
Right.
We didn't do anything about it.
I was thinking about, is there a connection? Hashem...
You don't put that on top of the book.
Hashem told Moshe not to bring the Eruv Rav.
I understand.
No, and then they're the ones that went and...
Yes, yeah. And believe me, Moshe thought about that. Believe me. He thought about that. Yeah. When Hashem told them this in this week's parasha by Pinchas,
Right.
You're not going into Israel. Go up on the mountain, go look at Israel. You're not going in. You don't think he was thinking about that?
And the other thing I learned is that if Pinchas didn't do what he did, we wouldn't be here now.
We would have been wiped out, yeah.
We would have wiped out because of the plague.
Yeah. Amazing. Everyone, we should have please a beautiful day today. Really, it can be. We know that this is going to be a big Yom Tov. You know that, right?
Right.
This is going to be a big holiday. We said it in the Slichos today. It's going to be a big holiday, and we're waiting. Hashem, please bring us the big holiday, so we can all today amidst Hashem, and we should see all the good things with Mashiach coming, the building of the third temple. The Gula B'Shleimus V'Amitas Kol Tov, everybody.